So what about this then? This is a 2018 exam question number 6. In total, it was worth 7 marks. Question A says, explain what is meant by a shortest path algorithm. If you ever see the word shortest path algorithm, always be thinking we're talking about Dijkstra's algorithm. So a shortest path algorithm will analyse a weighted network that we saw previously. Its job is to also identify the shortest route between two given vertices. So for the first part, you'll get 1 mark for explaining that it will analyse a weighted network, and for the second mark, it's talking about the ability to identify the shortest route between two given vertices. The second part of the question, the routing costs for a network of 8 nodes are stored in a 2-dimensional array, as shown below. 0 indicates there is no route between the nodes. So firstly, 8 nodes, a 2-dimensional array over an x and y axis. 0 indicates there is no route between the nodes. So part BI expects you to draw a labelled diagram of the network. Let's have a go at drawing the diagram of the network below this question. Firstly, look at the table to see what information it's actually trying to give you. We have an x-axis running from the top to the right, and we have top to bottom is the y-axis. A to A has a related cost of 0. That means there is no relationship and there's no route between those nodes. B on the x-axis and A on the y-axis has a related cost of 5. That means between A and B there is a related cost of 5. You can also see that in the B in the y-axis and the A in the x-axis there is also a cost of 5. Looking at C now, we can see there's a relationship of 3 between A and C, nothing between C and B, and between C and A there is a related cost of 3. So I'll tick these off as I go to ensure that I have all 8 nodes. Looking at D now, between D and A there is no relationship there at all. Between D and B there is a related cost of 7. And between D and C there is a related cost of 6. And once I'm satisfied that's complete, I'll tick D off and then look at the next node, which is E. B has a connected cost of 2 with E, and looking at the rest, which are zeros, that is the only connection that I can see there. Once completed, I'll tick that off and I'll move on to the next node, which is F. F has a related cost with C of 4 and a related cost with D of 1. I can see at the end that it also has a relationship with G of 6, but I haven't quite completed G yet, so I'll come back to that once I've completed G. Writing G down, I can see that it has one connection with D for a cost of 4, one connection with E for a cost of 6, and one connection with F for a cost of 6. A good exam tip here would be to go back and check that you've not missed anything from the question. So it stated there was 8 nodes, which there is 8 nodes there. The next step is to look and make sure that you've double checked your references if you've got time in the exam, because it's important that you get all the costs right here, because these are quite simple and straightforward to do, and you want to make sure you get all of the marks for these questions. In section BII, we need to state the shortest path from the node A to the node G and calculate its cost. So I'm just going to quickly knock up a table so that we can calculate the cost from A to G. With these diagrams, it's important that you get it right, because this question relies on the network drawn in the previous question being correct. So the first thing I've done is written down all the vertices of my network. Starting at A has a cost of 0 via A, because that is my starting node. A can get to B for a cost of 5 via node A, and I can get to C for a cost of 3 via A. Once I've done that, A can't go to any more nodes. That means I can check A off the list. I then look in my table to see which vertex has the lowest cost, and that is C at a cost of 3. C can get to D for a cost of 6 plus the 3 previous to get from A to C. That's a cost of 9. I can also get to node F for a cost of 4 plus the 3 previous for a total cost of 7, all via C. Once I've done that, I can check off C as a visited node. I'll go back to my table and check which node I haven't been to yet that has got the lowest cost. And the next node is B. B has two options here. B can look at E for a cost of 2 plus the previous 5 to get to B. So I can get to E for a cost of 7 via B. Then it looks at D for a cost of 7 plus the previous 5 to get there for a total cost to get to D for 12. I already have 9 in my list, so therefore I wouldn't put a greater cost down, so I leave D as it is. Once I've checked all the nodes at B, I can then cross that off my visited node list. Then I'll go back to my table and look for the next lowest cost. I can either choose E or F because they both have a cost of 7. Choosing E then, E has one possible option to get to the node of G for a cost of 6 plus the previous 7 in order to get to E itself. That means the total cost to get to G is 13. So I write down 13 via the node of E. E's got no more options, so I cross it off my list, and then I look at my next lowest cost, which is F. F can get to D for a cost of 1 plus the previous 7 to get there, which gives me a cost of 8 to get to D. 8 is less than 9, so I replace that in my list with 8 via F. F can also get to G for a cost of 6. 6 plus the 7 is 13, which is exactly the same that it took for E to get to G itself. So both are the same. If you have this situation, you can choose one over the other. That means F can be signed off my visited node list. The only two nodes I've got left to look at now is D and G. G is my destination node, so I'm going to look at D. The only option left for D to look at is G, because it's the only node that has not been checked off my visited node list. And I can get to G for a cost of 4 plus the 8 it took me to get to D, which gives me a cost to get to G of 12, and that's less than what's in my table. So the cost now to get to G is 12 via D. And that means I've checked all of the nodes off. What I'll do now is I'll write down my final node, which is G. G goes via D, D goes via F, F goes via C, and C goes via A. And that means my total cost and the fastest route here is 12 on the route A, C, F, D, and G. And that will get us all of the marks for this question. Feel free to go back and replay the video and go through it step by step. There's a lot to take in here and it just takes time and practice. I hope you enjoyed this video and there'll be plenty more coming in the next couple of weeks.